Good morning, my dear students, and a warm welcome to the geography lecture of the 8th standard. I, Sir Sylvester de Souza, will be continuing with the portion of your geography. Students, before the holidays, we had seen 2 lessons of geography. Today, I am going to start with the 3rd lesson, that is interior of the earth. Now, my dear students, in your earlier classes, you have studied about various things regarding the external factors of the earth. That is, say for example, about rainfall you have studied about winds, you have studied about humidity, about clouds. So you have studied all these things that happens outside the earth. But my dear students, there are certain things that happen due to factors within the surface of the earth. Now, the first question that we have to ask is, what exactly is there beneath the earth's surface? Or what are the various things that happen below the earth's surface that we can feel above the earth's surface? Okay, as we move ahead, you will understand what I am trying to tell you all. Now, my dear students, first of all, you might have seen a boiled egg. Okay, you might have eaten also a boiled egg. So remember the structure of the boiled egg, because the structure of the boiled egg is going to be very, very important when you are going to see about the interior of the earth. Okay, so students, please remember and know the structure of this boiled egg. Okay, so I will tell you the 3 structures. We have got the shell over here, the outermost and the thinnermost layer. Okay, the shell, which is the outermost and the thinmost layer also. Okay, then we have got the white part. Okay, the white part, what is there? Okay, that layer is the biggest layer or the thickest layer. And then the innermost layer, what you can see, the yolk, the yellow color, what you can see, that again comes in the interior, in the inside. Okay, so this layer we have seen. Now, my dear students, let us compare this with our earth, what we are going to study in today's lesson. Okay, that is the interior of the earth. Okay, see here we can see the crust, the thinnermost layer. The thinnermost layer crust is taken to be as the shell, the outer cover of the egg. So you can see this outer cover. So that is continued, or that is taken to be called as the shell or the crust if you see it on the earth. Okay, then we can come to the middle layer, the mantle, what we can see in the interior of the earth. And if you see that in the egg, what I had showed you the image over here of the egg, this layer, this white layer, what you see, it is called as the mantle in respect of the earth. Okay, then we have got the crust, the innermost yellow layer, what we can see, the yolk, what you call it, of the egg as. Okay, that is called as the core of the earth, that is known as the core. The innermost layer is known as the core, the yolk is known as the core of the earth. Okay, my dear students, so that's why I told you that we have got certain relation and a very important relation between this egg, the boiled egg, and between the earth. Okay, now after having seen the relationships or how we compared the boiled egg and the earth, now we are all ready to go into the lesson directly. Okay, that is the interior of the earth. So students, you can find this lesson on page number 9 of your textbook. Okay, and carefully read through this lesson. This is a very important lesson. This is there for you all even in the next year also, in the 9th standard also. So please, very important lesson. Go through it very, very carefully. Read your textbook very, very carefully. We shall start with the first part, that is, let us recall. In the previous classes, you have been introduced to rock types, volcanoes, earthquakes. So my dear students, we have seen all these things in the previous classes. That is, we have seen about rock types, what are the various kind of rocks. Say for example, igneous rock we have studied. Okay, we have seen all these things like volcanoes. How do volcanoes occur? In which regions do they occur? What are the reasons behind them occurring? Okay, and also we have studied about earthquake, what we mean by earthquake. Now I will not be discussing these questions. These questions I am giving you as a homework. Okay, let us recall. This is there for you all as the homework. So you have to write it down and give it to me. Okay, submit it to me. Okay, my dear students, so this I am giving you as the homework. Okay, now if you see the next part of it, okay, that is what I want to tell you all over here is the reasons behind the earthquake happening, or what are the reasons behind what earthquake happens or volcano happens. My dear student, what do you mean by earthquake? Earth means the ground, okay, and quake means trembling, or we can call it as shivering. For example, the same thing, okay, what happens in the earthquake, you can find somewhat similar situation when you stand on a platform, okay, and a train moves from there. When the train is moving, you will find the movement of the platform also. So the same thing happens when an earthquake also occurs, my dear students, okay. And what is a volcano? Volcano, my dear students, you know that in the interior of the earth, just now when I thought you all over here, this core, this mantle, they are all in the liquid state, okay. So what happens when there is heat, okay, and there is pressure generated over here, and the earth, the crust cannot take the pressure, then we can see that hot molten lava comes out of the earth's surface, and that is called as the volcano, okay, my dear students, that we call it as a volcano. Everybody has understood up to here? Now next what is there is a short introduction or a short experiment about the milk, okay, which I will be teaching you all, the introduction or the example of the milk and how the milk can be related to the earth's crust or the earth's interior, what we are going to see, okay, my dear students. Okay, so students, now I would like to give you the example, that is of a boiled milk. Now I will not be reading the entire paragraph, but I will be telling to you all in short what is this experiment related to, okay. Now we are going to compare the story of the earth with the milk, experiment of the milk. Now my dear students, when you go to the market, okay, you go to a dairy and you buy milk, okay, say for example you have brought 1 liter buffalo's milk. Now when you bring the milk, it is in liquid state, am I right? Everybody have noticed that the milk is in the liquid state. Now once you bring the milk home, then you heat the milk, that is you boil the milk, and then you allow the milk to cool down, okay. Now once the milk has cooled down, you switch off the gas, okay, and then you keep it in the fridge. Now once you keep it in the fridge, my dear students, and the next day when you remove the milk out, you will have been noticed that there is a thick layer of cream which is formed on top. Now have you ever thought that the milk when you brought from the shop was in a liquid state? Then how did the cream form which is of a solid state? Anybody has ever thought about it? Now this same thing I will compare with the story of the earth. So my dear students, when you see this earth, the earth is in the same way, that is it was in a liquid state millions and millions of years ago, that is almost about 4.5 billion years ago. Then what happened, as the process of cooling began, the earth began to be formed, okay, that is the cooling process had started, and then the materials which are there, lighter materials started coming up, and then they began to form the outer layer of the earth, that is called as the metallic core, okay, or the crust of the earth, okay. See here we can see the crust was formed, my dear students, okay. So once we have the crust which was formed, then we had a very hard surface today where we have built buildings, where we stay. The earth, my dear students, as I told you, the crust was formed, somewhat looks like this onion. There are various layers beneath the earth's surface, though the onion from outside looks like round, okay, but in the interior of the onion, when we cut the onion, we can find these kind of layers. So also, my dear students, in the earth also we can find various kinds of layers upon layers are there beneath the surface of the earth. And then after that, what we can see, these layers, these are the various layers of the earth, my dear students, okay, that is the crust, the mantle, the outer core and the inner core. These all layers are there within the earth's surface, okay. So now we shall go into the geographical explanation. After boiling, the milk was in the liquid state. After it came to a boil, the steam started coming out of it. After some time, a thick layer of cream developed over the milk. The temperature of the cream is lesser than that of the milk below. Thus, it can be implied that the creamy layer cooled down faster than the milk below it, which remained hot and in liquid form. Similar process occurred in the earth cooling. Now as I told you in short, now I'll tell you in detail what happened. When you brought the milk, that is before boiling it, it was in the liquid state. After it came to a boil, okay, then steam came out of it. You might have seen vapors coming when it boils. After that we see that a thick layer of cream was developed. As I told you, cream comes on top. Now why did the cream come? Because it is of a lesser temperature, okay, therefore the cream came, okay, on top, and that became harder, that became thicker first, okay, whereas the milk below was still hot, okay, milk below remained hot and it was in the liquid form itself, okay. And this similar process happened to the earth. So many scientists, they unanimously, meaning they all together, okay, they everybody together believe that the earth was formed out of our solar system itself, okay. That means the earth also was formed from the solar system itself, from all the other planets, from various other things. So from there itself the earth was formed. Now as I told you, initially the earth was a gaseous hot balloon, okay. So when the earth was formed, it was very hot, it was in a gaseous state, okay. Then slowly the cooling process took place. The process took place from the outer surface towards the earth's center. So the cooling started from the outer surface and then it moved towards the center of the earth, that is from the crust, then it went to the mantle, and then at last it went to the core, okay. So it is still a process, okay. As a result, the outer layer, that is the crust, what I told you, as thin as the shell of the egg, okay, that became cooler and became in a solid state. But as we move to the surface, to the core, that is as we move from the crust to the core, as we go within the earth's surface, we see that the heat is going on increasing, okay. As we move inner and inner, we can see that the heat is going on increasing, and at certain depths, okay, the interior of the earth is in semi-solid, okay, or in semi-liquid state, okay. Then man has been always inquisitive. That means man always wants to know that exactly what is there beneath the earth's surface, or what lies in the interior of the earth. Now a direct observation of the interior of the earth is not possible. It is not possible that we can see directly within the earth's surface. Say for example, I want to see the clouds, we can easily see it. I want to see the stars, we can easily see it. But it is not possible, my dear students, to see the interior of the earth. It is very, very difficult, okay. So there are various methods the scientists have tried to estimate about the same. So what happens, so scientists have developed various methods where they can study about the earth's surface, what is there beneath. Now as I gave you the homework, is it possible that if I start digging from one side of the earth, that I can come out from the other side? So these kind of questions the scientists always keep on asking, okay. Now so to get the material, okay, to get the knowledge about this, so what do? They keep studying about the various materials that come out from the volcanic eruptions. Now if they want to know what is there beneath, they have got only two options, that is either start digging, which is a difficult option, or start studying about those materials which are coming from the interior. So that is what they did. From in volcanoes we have seen that there are certain things that come out from the earth's interior, okay, like we have got hot magma, we have got gases, and we have got steam, okay. So they started studying all these things. Then when the lava cools down, when these materials what comes out of the volcanoes, it cools down, it solidifies meaning it becomes again into a solid state, and then igneous rock are formed, okay. Then through the estimates of the studies, temperature, density, gravitational forces and pressure of the interior of the earth was understood. So we can understand all these various things regarding the interior of the earth. For instance, if we go deep into a mine, we feel an increase in temperature that is there. As you go beneath the earth's surface, you will find that it becomes hotter and hotter, okay. Whereas if you go above the earth's surface, when you go higher and higher above the earth's surface, my dear students, we feel cooler, and below the earth's surface we feel hotter, okay. Then similarly the magma coming out of the volcanoes of the interior of the earth also is hot, meaning the volcanic eruptions what happen, okay, even that magma which comes out, even that also is hot, my dear students. So we can see that not only the temperature but also the magma what is coming out also is very, very hot, okay. Then such estimations were made by geologists. Several earthquakes occur in various places on the earth every year. Seismic waves are generated. These waves travel through the interior of the earth. The study of their direction, velocity helps man to estimate about the interior of the earth. Man is also trying to dig deep bore wells in the interior to know about the same. So what is happening? First thing we can study, we have studied about the earth's surface, the interior of the earth from the volcanoes. Next, scientists have also tried to study from the earthquake, how the earthquake occurs, how their seismic waves are formed, okay, in which direction do they move in all the three states, that is in solid state, in liquid state and in gaseous state. Okay, so various things have been found by these people, okay, and then they try to study about the interior of the earth. And the third one, my dear students, they try to study about the earth's interior also by digging a deep bore well, okay, in the interior of the earth to know what is there beneath the earth's surface, okay. So these are various things that the scientists do. So my dear students, today in the beginning, first I had given you the introduction about the earth's interior. We had seen various things, example of the egg and so on, what we had seen, okay. Then we had seen about the earthquake and volcanoes, about what we had studied in the previous classes. I have given that you all as a homework also, okay, don't forget that, okay. Then we took the experiment of the boiling milk, okay, and how the boiling milk was compared with the earth's surface, and how after looking at the boiling milk we can come to a conclusion, or we can explain about the story of the earth, which was also in a liquid state like the milk. Okay, my dear students, after that we had seen how the scientists have tried to study about the earth, okay, and how they remove various inferences or conclusions, what we can call it as. Then we have seen the matter, okay, that is matter what is coming out from volcanic eruptions. First thing they used to study about the interior of the earth. Second thing, my dear students, they use the earthquake seismic waves to study about the interior of the earth. And lastly, my dear students, okay, what we have just seen, it is about the bore well, what the scientists have tried to dig and find out about the earth's interior. Okay, my dear students, so this is all about the introduction for the lesson interior of the earth. That's all for today's lecture. Now, my dear students, I want everybody to do the homework and submit it to me by evening 6 o'clock. All of you all stay home, stay safe, take care of yourself and your families. God bless you all.